Welcome to Issued for Construction. I'm your host, Jonathan Jacobs, and I don't sound like myself. That's okay, because I'm here with two great people who are going to talk to you about who they are. I've traveled for this interview. I'm in New Brunswick. I'm in St. John. I'm sitting here across from Monica, Adair and Stephen Kopp of Acre Architects in their St. John location, because they've got two, one here and one in Halifax. Thank you for taking time to sit down today.
Great to meet you.
Welcome to St. John.
Thank you.
Now, as we just touched on, and as you'll hear us dive into much deeper later in the episode, Monica and Stephen have built an incredible regional footprint by expanding their practice across provinces. Speaking of that kind of impressive reach, Kaplan's Appliances has an extensive footprint of their own. Kaplan stretches their white glove delivery and service far beyond Toronto, reaching out to Niagara, Caledon, London if necessary, Prince Edward County, and all the way north to Muskoka and the Kawarthas. If you want to work with a company that deeply understands the value of matching premium product expertise with seamless communications, Kaplan's is the ultimate destination. Whether you are an architect, an interior designer, or a homeowner, they make sure you feel important, heard, and completely confident in the appliance solutions selected for your specific application. This is far from your traditional overwhelming box store. The real beauty of Kaplan's experience is that when you book an exclusive showroom appointment, you can enjoy a delicious prepared meal by their in-house chef while exploring the exact products you are looking to acquire for your space. We all know that appliance brands control the baseline pricing, but what they cannot control is the service. When you visit Kaplan's, that personalized chef-led hospitality makes it instantly clear that elite service and flawless communication are exactly what they focus on to keep everything at the highest level. To learn more about Kaplan's and the world-class appliance brands, including Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Jenn-Air, Fisher & Paykel, La Cornue, and more, feel free to head over to the liner notes of this episode. You can also email me directly and I can introduce you to Janine to get your next project dialed in. My email address is jonathan@issuedforconstruction.ca. Now, back to Monica and Stephen.
First of all, pleasure to sit with you. Looked at your work for the last couple of years while I was working at Walden Homes, and I was always a fan of it. I think it's beautiful work that you create.
Thank you.
So kudos to you and your team.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. I want you big you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago sent me an Instagram post of the feature in Dwell.
Okay.
And I said, it's funny you're sending that to me. I'm going to be sitting down with them in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Funny. Small world.
So with that said, I know that you have kids in those pictures. So it's a good introduction to tell me about yourselves. Where were you born? What was life like? What kind of family did you have? Siblings? What were your interests? Let's unpack it.
Steve, why don't we start with your kids' book?
Right. Yeah. So
You got a beginning. You got an arc.
I grew up in the prairies,
Okay.
southern Manitoba. And what Monica is referencing is a little kid's book. I guess my mother, I think, was probably the instigator of that. And every year I'd write down, what I wanted to do in the future, likes, dislikes, just all that kind of stuff. Anyway, way back, I've always kind of dragged three professions along.
Okay.
And I think I would have been like grade 3, the one when it first popped up. But yeah, I wanted to be a garbage man, hanging off the side of the garbage
Hell
truck.
yeah. And unionized.
And I still do. I still do. Sort of a dream job. Baseball player.
Okay.
Always loved the Blue Jays. And of course,
We
wanted to
stink
play for
right
that.
now.
No.
Although
They won last night, but still.
it's true. It's
Yeah.
April when we're recording this, by the way. So this ages.
That's true. And an architect.
Oh.
And it's funny. So way back, I've always liked art, and I've always liked math. So I think those two just collided. And I grew up in a tiny town called Morden. Well, not tiny, but a small town in the prairies. So there were no architects there. So I'm not quite sure really where that came from, other than my mom and dad would take the bus into Winnipeg and get to go around the old Exchange District, which I don't know if you've been. It's very beautiful. So my guess is probably that's where I got a intro to what architecture is.
And were you on an architecture tour or they?
No, just we'd go in to see plays or, go shopping, I guess, and visit friends, things like that. Of course, we had garbage men come to our house. So I got to see that, and I could see baseball on TV. But
did they ever pass where, like, when I grew up with the garbage men, we would always run out and be like, do you have a tennis ball? And they would pass us the ball. So my buddies and I could play catch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No?
That would have been combining the dreams together right there.
Baseball, garbage.
I didn't even
know that was a thing.
It was amazing. You play for ball hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys knew. So,
That's like having like dog treats, like when the dog
Yeah.
comes up and you give them out. It's like these little kids chasing trucks. Here's a ball, kid.
Well,
That's funny. I never really thought about that. Yeah, you wouldn't have been exposed to architects. There are high school kids here that don't know what architects
Right.
do. So how in Morden?
yeah, I mean, I think my parents always had we had a little bungalow on a cul-de-sac street, and we could, as kids, just kind of own the neighborhood, go anywhere, which was really great for community.
yeah.
But my parents my parents had a good, like, I guess the people in town would have thought probably it was weird, but Scandinavian taste.
Yeah.
And so we'd go into Winnipeg with them, and they'd hunt for, teak furniture at the time, and, but kind of modern taste, I guess, for.
What do your parents do?
They just ended up there. My mom got a teaching job in the 70s and just ended up there. So they're not like family from there.
Yeah.
And I'm an only child. So we had a small little household, and it was really nice. And so I left home probably when I was 18 to the big city of Winnipeg. And I started to pursue, arts. And I thought for a while I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh,
until
did you add it to the book?
No, that dream died really fast. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I still wanted to be creative. On the creative side. How did
it feel leaving as an only child, leaving family and moving to Winnipeg?
It was okay. I mean, like the prairies are, they're vast but small. So I could zip back on weekends.
Okay.
Visit, so it felt connected. Like it was not a big deal. And I think, my upbringing, I felt, self-sufficient, I guess you could call it. I felt good. So that was really nice. And they're very supportive of everything I did, which is also great. Yeah. So I moved into the undergrad architecture program in Winnipeg, University of Manitoba.
Yep.
So I completed that. And then after that, worked at architecture firms in Winnipeg for a while. And then I got a chance.
And what were you working on? Were you working on residential? Commercial, public, civic?
No, it was a sort of larger firm, and Smith Carter Architects at the time. Now I think they got bought by A49. But so I worked on everything from defense projects, some schools, arenas, beginning of a recreation, a little bit of everything, and then then I got a chance to go to Germany through this program to work at an architecture firm there. So I moved to Stuttgart.
Wow.
And
culture shock?
Little culture shock. Yeah. So that was, for an only child.
You lived with your boss.
I lived with my boss at the time.
Also culture shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that work?
It was interesting. So there was two partners in this firm and me at the time, and they were a spinoff of Banish Architects. Like they both had worked there.
Okay.
And it was fascinating. So I got to, I studied German in the morning. That was something they wanted me to do. So I learned German. And
how long did it take you to learn German?
It's a good question. Probably through my whole time there, like over the course of a year. But I found it very logical, and I really liked learning it. And
now you're Duolingo.
I'm doing Duolingo now. Like that was 30 years ago, probably.
I hear him doing Peloton in German. I'm like, who is that person yelling at him?
I mean, it's an interesting language because like there's some languages that are really soft,
right?
It's much more of like a direct language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
direct. Straight.
Yeah.
And the town I grew up in was like a German town, a German area in southern Manitoba. So I experienced some of that low German.
Yep.
So it wasn't super unusual, but yeah, she had a beautiful apartment in old Stuttgart and was going through a massive renovation. So we were living in like dust and brushing our teeth with mineral water because that's all there was. And so I'd work on that project physically, like moving stuff around and helping on the weekends. So it's kind of a really immersive time, and got to meet some German friends who I'm still friends with today. And then got into U of T, which is where I crossed paths with Monica. So because I had my undergrad degree in architecture, I skipped that first year and joined into her class. That would have been 2002, maybe.
I actually
Something
failed
like
to
that.
mention that at the beginning.
That,
That this is a husband and wife duo.
right.
Correct.
Right.
Okay. I'm so sorry, anyone listening, that it wasn't clear in the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's April 2026, right?
Yeah. In step with the Blue Jays winning last night.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. We're
Yeah.
back.
So that was the beginning of the master's degree.
Okay.
And so after that, overlap with Monica.
Okay. So let's go to Monica now
Yeah.
to that point.
All right.
You ready?
I'll try my best. So I was born in St. John, New Brunswick, so
Okay.
right out here. And then where did I kind of spin into the world that I am today? I think I stayed in St. John till grade 12, where I got to go on an exchange.
Oh, hold on. You just skipped 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years, but I'll go back. I can't
Okay.
go
Okay.
linearly.
Okay. Fair.
So
We did talk about
We'll
that.
find out. Yeah, I'm not very linear. I was
This is the
telling
way her
Jonathan
brain
that.
works.
Exactly.
This is a choose your own adventure book.
Exactly. 100%.
For those unaware, I've referenced Choose Your Own Adventure in the past. Go look them up. They're amazing books.
Okay, I love them. I love
Completely.
them. I actually think that's a really, really fun way to navigate life. So I got to choose my own adventure in grade 12, actually. So I got to go on an exchange in Spain for a year.
Yeah.
And my mentor, or the person that you were paired with, was an architect.
Okay.
I don't think that was the direct link for me to becoming an architect right away, but definitely the founding seed. So he was an architect in Madrid. His son, I dated his son, also an architect, now in Denia. And so that was kind of maybe my introduction to architecture. Before that, it was living in this great city that has historic buildings. And my father is a furniture salesman. And my mother's a nurse and works with immigration and refugee status. So there are two people that, and she also worked in my dad's business. So entrepreneurs were just alive and well in my home.
Yeah.
They're just, these people are doers, and, grit is their middle name.
Well, and worth noting as you talk about that is that there's also like massive fires that happen here.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you can see the Boston architects that would have come up
Yeah.
and built a lot of the historic part of St. John, which is pretty incredible as a stock of buildings.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you've had a chance to.
I
look
walked around
but-
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. But I don't think I knew it was great back then. I just was in a little bubble, and, away I went, and I thought everything was better out there in my mind. So went to Spain, which was amazing experience. Came back, did a university in Fredericton, just outside of here.
And just for the record, Spain might be a little bit better.
Maybe. And then, I did a biopsych degree in Fredericton, not sure what I wanted to do.
Wait, hold on a sec. Can we go back to Spain?
Yeah, Spain, yes.
Yeah, because it was like Spain was a sentence and then it was gone.
Oh, sorry, Spain. Yeah, okay,
Hold
let's
on.
stick
Well,
with Spain.
let's talk about Spain
All right,
for a
Spain.
second.
Spain was amazing. So my mother's Mexican, so Spanish was something that I was trying to get back. So my mom is from Mexico City.
Okay.
She's the
Look what we
oldest.
just started
Look what we
unraveling here.
unpacked.
Yeah.
So she's the oldest out of 18 children, if you can kind of think of.
Whoa.
So it's just a different world of how we interact with humans. You're going to go to dinner tonight at Abuelita's,
Yeah.
which is grandmother in Spanish. And the large table that's designed there was 18 seats. So it's the idea of my mom's
Come
table.
on.
And then the corner seat is five seats. And that's for my family, like our small little kids table, which is like me, my two brothers, and my mom and dad. So that's Abuelita's in a nutshell. So that's my mom from Mexico City here, but Spanish was something that I wanted to learn again. So I ended up in Spain on an exchange. My dad was the head of a Rotary exchange program. So I got that great opportunity.
Yep.
Left, kind of was supposed to go to school a lot, didn't go to school a lot when I was there, but I lived I got to experience the world in a great way. So they say education is an admirable thing, but nothing worth knowing can be taught. That was the place to learn. Like, it was amazing. So I'm leaving Spain. So I'm coming back from
Okay.
Spain, going to a degree, thinking I have to go to school. Still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, even though I had that great introduction to architecture and to incredible, to the world of architecture. but I still didn't know. So I did a biopsych degree, and then I did psychology, and then I still didn't get it. So at the time I was in the Navy. So I was
Doing what? Yeah.
I was a naval officer, so a Mars officer, so maritime surface and subsurface. So I get to drive minor war vessels. I have my license to drive a minor war vessel.
And have you recently driven them?
I haven't recently, and I wish I was still in it. I miss it a lot. Like, it was amazing. For a kid who's not very structured and ordered, I don't think I'd own a practice today without having done that. So that was such a great learning experience. I love, I liked basic training. I liked that kind of stuff. It was really fun. It was amazing.
Does CrossFit now play into life?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, dirt bikes.
Dirt bikes. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So no, the Navy was a great experience. I was doing it as a reservist part-time.
Yep.
Going to school. And then I decided to go to Taiwan to teach English. Why? How?
Yeah, how?
So I was dating someone at the time, and we were looking for somewhere to go in the world, figure out that in between, like, what next?
Yeah.
And so taught English in Taiwan. My mother's grandfather's Chinese. So my great-grandfather's Chinese. And this was like, oh, well, let's go find out where he is. So I know, it's
Crazy.
So I was trying to figure out, let's try to go to, at the time we thought he was on the mainland, but we thought he was in Taiwan, but it was from the mainland. And he still ended up in Taiwan. It was fantastic. It was an incredible opportunity, a place that I just had no idea other than made in Taiwan. Like, it just opened the world to me of.
He was still
another
alive?
place. No, he wasn't, but just the connections.
Yeah.
So when I was in Taiwan, I was like, everybody here looks Mexican, but it took me a long time to know that my mother looks Chinese. So, so that was kind of a neat connection. I just couldn't figure that out. So left Taiwan, and when I was in Taiwan, I was like, oh, now what? Like, what am I going to be when I grow up? Still don't know. And like, I like a life of unintended consequences. I like just following what's out there.
Yep.
And then I decided to, Bruce Mao had done the admission packages for U of T. And I saw them, and they were like, oh my God, this is exciting. It was just it was a designed package that was enticing enough to go, oh, this is exciting for me.
What, can I ask, what year was this around?
It probably would have been 2001 or something like that, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was ALND at the time.
Right.
And they had kind of done this package where the logo evolved every year. It was at the beginning, pre-AI, where you're actually seeing design being crafted. It was so exciting. So I decided to apply to architecture school, having never done anything in architecture. I learned that I had to do a portfolio, and I had a month to apply from Taiwan. So I was like, what's a portfolio? What do I do? Can I get in? My calculus marks suck. What do I do now, right?
And Dropbox is not yet a thing.
That's right.
No.
Oh my gosh. I think the only people that had Photoshop were the photos, like the stores that printed, right? So
Yeah.
You
So
go
here
to
I
like running to like nowadays or back then, like you're running to a Kinko's.
totally.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Kinko's on Queen Street.
Wait, on Spadina. Yeah, right.
Where's the closest Kinko's?
Yeah.
100%.
I remember sitting in there scanning all my drawings and like old stuff. Like,
And then if there's only one machine, there's a person behind
Oh
you.
my
Like, I'll
God.
be here for a little while. Go to the next
Yeah.
location.
my USB
Totally.
stick doesn't
Sorry
work.
that I digress.
Totally. No, it's
Not linear.
But it puts it in context. Like things that might have been, I didn't have a portfolio and I had to create everything from scratch in a month. But the funny part of that story for me, which I'm thankful for, is, so I didn't know if I had the marks. I didn't have a portfolio, but I kept calling U of T. I was calling admissions, and I was saying, like, I don't think I can get in. I don't have the marks. I don't have this. And the person I was talking to said, oh, of course you can get in. You can do it. Like, just do this. And I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, later on, I found out that she wasn't admissions. She was the secretary at AL&D, but she had me convinced that what I had
Was enough.
And I think that's just so important of being championed by somebody. Like, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't be in architecture if it wasn't for it. Was Mina, was her name? Anyway, she was amazing.
Have you ever spoken
Nina.
to her?
Yeah, I told her years later.
Okay.
Nina, I think it was.
She was great.
She was great. And I think that we need to do that for people more in life, is just at any point, at any juncture.
Say yes.
Yeah.
It's like, you got this.
I went to the University of Guelph-Humber, and we were part of the first class of that school. It was a combo between Humber College and Guelph University. And first year we were in a tiny little portable on the Humber's North Campus in Toronto. But the second year, the building that they had designed and had built was done. We moved into it, and there was a 4-story plant wall. It was the largest plant wall in a building in Canada at the time.
Right.
And they were using they had fans on the back of it that would pull in clean air and run it through the school.
Nice.
And I remember when I started working in this field, calling the architect that designed it and thanking her.
Amazing.
And she's like, I've never had a phone call from a student.
Right.
I was like, you gotta know the impact.
Beautiful.
That's great.
Similar to, different, but
Yeah.
No, but I really like that
the
you're a man
gratitude.
of connections. I think that's
The
really
gratitude.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Connections aren't always introductions,
Yeah.
but realizing things that made a difference.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Sorry. So go. Okay. So
No, I love that.
Again, I digress.
I hope you digress. This is I'm kind of linearly packing down my life here.
It's that's the weirdest thing of this, right?
Yeah, right.
How do I summarize decades of my life into an hour or two?
Absolutely. And I'll try not to do it in an hour or two on you.
What?
So where are we? Toronto? Were you in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still in Toronto. Oh, yes. I got into architecture school, and you weren't there yet. And that was a great school. What a program. Like, what a playground for ideas and imagination. Oh, I feel really fortunate to have gone to U of T.
Who were some of the profs that you had?
John Chenier,
Yeah.
Shane Williamson.
Yeah.
Who else did we have?
We would have had Betsy, Stephen Teeple.
Yeah.
Tina Petriconi.
Yeah. Was Bridget doing it at the time?
Yes, I didn't have Bridget,
Yeah.
but later on in life, she was a good influence.
And she would have come in
our
for
life.
guest reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of, at that time they were really focusing on like people coming from outside
Yeah.
to come
Brenda
in.
Webster Tweel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a great group.
Yeah.
Talented group.
They were good years there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the school had an addition. This was still before they moved to One Spadina in the old one on College, but they had that beautiful addition from Adair Architects with the big rose window into the library.
Speaking of iconic architectural glazing like that classic rose window, when you look out at the projects Acre is designing out on the East Coast, it is all about framing the landscape. We are talking about capturing sweeping vistas, sprawling tree lines, and incredible river and ocean views. To truly take in an environment like that, you need a window supplier that understands structural demands. You need low-profile frames, high-quality glass, and the engineering required to withstand the forces of nature, especially those harsh, prevailing winds coming off the coastlines and tearing through the trees. That is exactly where the Doors comes in. They specialize in the supply and installation of high-end aluminum glazing systems available in both standard and custom colors. They can deliver entry doors and massive sliders up to 16 feet wide and 10 feet tall, as well as expansive glass systems stretching up to 20 feet tall or 20 feet wide. These systems can literally weigh tons, which is why the Doors utilizes their own specialized spider crane to handle complex installations safely and precisely. With an in-house machine to precisely cut aluminum and the ability to supply low-profile steel architectural systems when the design calls for it, they can execute virtually any layout. They offer premium European brands like Schuco, Aluplast, and Rayners alongside other options tailored entirely to your specific budget and project scope. If you want to elevate your next build, it is well worth learning more about them. Head over to the liner notes or email me directly at Jonathan, Jonathan, at issuedforconstruction.ca, and I will gladly write a personal introduction to Marta and Martin, the dedicated husband and wife duo who have been successfully running the Doors for the last 20 years. Now, let's get back to Stephen and Monica.
Mhm.
So it was it was a fun place to do studio, I think, because you could still, at the time, bang plywood and kind of make your own studio environment. Probably a complete fire safety violation place. But before I don't know what the new one is like, but like that idea of kind of crafting your own space was really like part of the architecture experience.
Right? Like that was probably an introduction to crafting their own, like anything was possible, right? You could build, I don't know, it was a really, it was a world of abstractness, exploration, ideas, and conceptual grounding, which I think I feel fortunate that our practice started in that and then ends up in the executable dreams. But I like starting in the pure potential. So that was the space for it. It was a playground for it. And we were getting reinforced and supported in ideas that were, testing things that were just not, someone wasn't trying to put you in a box.
What were some of the, and I actually realized as I asked this question, I don't know that I've asked this question before. Having both moved to that city and then being immersed in a program like this, what were some of the hardest things that you had to overcome that when you were presented with them, you really didn't know what the solution would be? Whether that was potentially engaging in a group project and trying to determine who the lead would be, trying to figure out what the project was going to be about, communicating with one of your professors.
Oh yeah.
Shop.
Yes to all of those. I mean, yes to everything being kind of, I remember Lucas Koss because he came in at year 2.
Right.
And I didn't know what a plan or a section. I didn't know anything. Like I was coming, most people had an undergrad. I was coming in cold and it was green. Right. And I could just remember him just zooming in and zooming out to a drawing and going, I'll never be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know, it was so foreign.
Right.
So it was a new language.
Okay.
Right. And you have the constant comparison, imposter syndrome from day one, because you're also in a creative field. It was very intense. It was like crying a crit kind of material. It wasn't as constructive and positive psychology as we're seeing today. So I think it's an environment where it kind of demanded a thick skin in an environment that you didn't really know anything about.
Yeah.
In a place that you hadn't developed a sense of who you were creatively and to kind of understand what it is that you're actually even doing and then apply that to a project with tools and skills. And it was all new, which is, I think, my favorite type of environment, but it was still hard. It's daunting.
I think we always talk about that double-edged sword, like your weaknesses are your strengths and vice versa. And I think probably thinking about that question, which I really like, is I think we came in working really hard.
Yeah.
And that you were coming from the East Coast, small province. Like there's probably more people on your block in Toronto than all of New Brunswick, right? Small province. And I was coming from the prairies. So I think we both had an underdog feeling.
Yeah.
Even though I, went through architecture before, I guess. But I think we kind of, like you mentioned grit earlier, we pounded away at projects but we also took chances. I think
kind of effortlessly. Yeah. It was fun.
Exactly. I think that's
it was hard, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of fun.
Yeah, I think some people come in stiff and just try to tweak things and make small moves, where I think we kind of relaxed and got into the abstractness of U of T at the time. Like it's a very conceptual school.
Would you remember any specific project or that you worked on that you were really proud of at the time that may or may not have been received in the way that you felt it should have been? I know.
That's a specific 2 of them. So I'll try to think of. I like to I like takeaways of anything I learned. I'm like, it's like there's always like a growth opportunity from it. So I don't think I walked away scarred from that was misunderstood. But I do think that there's a lot of, things that were like, oh my gosh, what a learning that was. I remember there was like a sense of being bold and bigger. And I remember doing a section, I think it was in Shane Williamson's course. And I thought this was like the best section I'd ever drawn.
Shane, I hope you're listening to this.
Yeah.
It was art. I created one of the best sections. And then I decided to, so good, I'm going to make it super large. And I must have printed this at 1 to 5 in this like big studio. And that had no detail. It just basically brought up how little I knew about architecture. It was like, do you have any flaws? Let's make those at one. Let's make those 1 to 1. So that was just, it was so humbling.
Yeah.
But I think it's just sets you up for that space of like, yeah, it's a constant iterative, getting knocked down, getting back up. And if you don't get too attached to it's not a failure, or failure is part of the game, like then it's like, all right, now we're moving.
Right.
And now, so I don't think you know that in that space, but I think later on when you're trying to encourage your team to safely explore and to kind of let go of it and just don't get too attached, then there's a real beauty in those looking back and going, how many of those were gifts? Like the crit environment, the putting something out there, putting yourself on the line. Like,
Right.
It's really fun.
I actually found some drawings the other day.
Oh yeah,
I think
from
I showed
German?
you. No, they're from the Matthew Barney studio John Schneer did at U of T. And I remember thinking like, what? Every project is embarrassing when you look back. But it was a house from Matthew Barney. And we had watched a Cremaster cycle, which is completely confusing if you've ever seen it. Like 10-hour movie,
though.
basically.
Amazing
Though. But like how to, anyway. But I think that idea of you doing all this work, I think we probably stayed up like the whole studio, the whole night working on these drawings. And then I looked at them the other day, like it's a bunch of twisted brick and these dark, weird spaces. Maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't, but that, staying up all night and having that experience of just being dazed, trying to explain some version of clarity to your profs and your colleagues
And looking for an
know.
answer. This idea that you're looking for this answer, like there's one solution, and then
Yes.
you later realize that there's
There's
so many
multiple
ways,
solutions.
right?
Yeah.
But you think there's this answer, right? And you're
Because I think we as humans always want to have like some form of knowledge that what you're solving, there's a solution to the problem
100%.
and it can be finite.
Mhm.
And then you can move on from that.
totally
Otherwise, you're just constantly looking at evolving on this
Right.
idea. When does it end?
right,
Right?
right.
The ball
It's the desire to
ball
have
of yarn.
certainty and security and knowing that like we wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that became part of my portfolio. I, for some reason at the time, thought they were really impressive, really impressive, right? So I remember when we interviewed in New York for this job, Scott Duncan, our boss at the time, I remember showing him those drawings, him looking up at me like, what's this all about, right? I can't even imagine what I said.
I have an idea.
Let's
Yeah.
bring him up.
Are you
Let's try
ready?
this.
I'm thinking maybe you take your name off of the drawing
Mhm.
and you put them in as a part of the interview process when you're looking to grow
Right.
and say, can you work from this
Yeah.
and evolve it into something that is workable?
I'll just tell you, half my sketches are like that anyway. That's a daily, okay? We don't need to even go back into the archives. That's a real.
And that's back in the day when we would have been like still spending time crafting like the 3D models and
Yeah,
the stuff
yeah.
that's easier now. Like
Oh.
it would have
You
been
and I did a
ridiculous amounts
felt
of
show.
time.
We did a felt project together, and you did a felt show, which is just a felt poncho. And we also we decided to put it in the laser printer. No, in the
laser cutter.
laser cutter. So felt and a laser cutter, not a good. It's just like burnt hair.
I was going to say, what would it smell like?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so lots of learnings. Great test. So testing ground, I would say, is a takeaway from that.
Yeah.
That in life, it's like just treating everything like a testing ground. It's
Yeah.
been really freeing and getting our team to kind of work in a studio-like environment with maybe less crying and then a little more sleep. But just, I think just being less precious with it, iterating, testing. And we really are working on that like actively. It's like, how do we create at the Acre is a
Right.
huge thing that we talk and think about a lot. So that's fun.
So let's work towards that now. Let's talk about evolution of both of you independently after school, between school and
All right.
practice.
I'll tell you about New York.
Yeah, go.
Because that's where we probably linked. So Stephen was working at KPMB and I was working at Plant Architect in Toronto.
Yeah.
So great firms, great exposure,
Yeah.
wonderful mentors there.
Mhm.
And we both got an opportunity to an interview in New York to work at SOM. So it's Skidmore, Owings and Merrill.
I just booked a trip to New York to go interview SOM
Oh,
No,
amazing.
and ARO and a few others in Snowhead. So that'll be coming
Awesome.
up.
Oh,
But
cool.
SOM has their partner meeting the week that I booked it.
Oh, no way.
So
Fun.
great practice.
Oh, incredible practice. And what an opportunity. So we went also because the New York office was working with artists. So at the time, Roger Duffy was
In the
leading this-
education lab.
In the education lab was working with artists like James Turrell, Lawrence Weiner. Like, it was just incredible to work with. These are my heroes, Walter DeMaria, these great Dia artists. I loved, I don't get really awestruck by celebrities, but artists is a whole different world. Like, it's just exciting. So we had to go interview. It was just after 9/11.
Crazy.
We went and we're on 14 Wall Street. We go in to get interviewed. Stephen and I think we bought suits. We thought were so cool. We didn't. So we decide we have nowhere to put our wallets. We don't even bring ID. And this is after 9/11. We get to the building and they're like, these two Canadians are down here and they don't have any ID. And they want to come into 14 Wall Street.
Sounds like Canadians.
Yeah.
Anyway, we managed to get our interview. They interviewed us for 4 hours in the same room.
Come on.
4 hours.
Yeah.
We're like, how much do you want to make? And they were like, how much do you want to make? It's like, more than him. Like, anyway, they gave the job to both of us, and we say we probably wouldn't be married today if they didn't. But
Crazy.
so that was fun.
I am imagining, as you're talking about a 4-hour interview, I'm thinking of the Dick Tracy movie when he's interviewing Mumbles. And they got the light shining on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
How about you?
Like that 4 hours is a long time
It
for an
is, it
interview.
is.
Yeah.
But it's good to fly. At least if you fly to New York, it felt like we, wasn't.
Probably took an hour to go through that drawing I did.
Oh yeah.
And the Matthew Barney
So
drawing.
what did you mean
What
by
is
those
this?
drawings?
So when you got that job, 2001, they're now giving you a green card. How did
TN
that-
visa. So we're working on a work visa.
Oh, sorry,
down
work
there.
visa. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have that. Yeah.
No. And we're working on a visa down there, and great exposure. So
Where did you live?
we lived in Park
Brook-
Slope,
In Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
It's a beautiful area. Like
Yeah.
sort of 3-story. It's the beginning of that brownstone area.
Yeah.
The park was right there. Super bikeable. Good food.
before the stadium.
Yeah, before the stadium. Then like the Net Stadium is now like
Yeah.
a couple
Just
blocks
a couple
from there.
blocks,
But
at the time it was.
yeah, before it was just restaurants, little bars. Good.
And
music.
again, like coming from here, coming from
Yeah.
from the prairies to now be
Yeah. In the city.
working at like one of the top practices in
It wasn't lost on us that it was like everything felt like a gift in there. It was, and we got really great opportunities. I got to work on an airport in China, so I got to go to
Crazy.
China, and I got to go to work.
what
We had lots of
what
experiences.
element of the airport?
Concept design for a competition for the Kunming-Shishao Airport. So that was really fun. But we got to work on the education lab. I got to work directly with Lawrence Weiner, an artist who I admired and loved. And we kind of stayed in touch until he passed away. And that was just a gift. Like it was fun. It was a really great time.
What were
It was hard. We were working
I'm sure.
80 hour weeks were normal. And I think we got robbed, remember our apartment?
Mhm.
And I remember someone on our design team going, do you think we can give them the night off? They just need to buy a pillow. Like, it was kind of like, that's how,
You say you
Yeah.
got robbed?
yeah.
Our
we got-
apartment did, yeah.
Yeah, we got
Cleaned
cleaned
out.
out. That was that's all right. That was part of the adventure.
But yeah, like SOM, I assume it's the same as now. Like it's a lot of young people,
Yeah.
talented people from all over the world. It's a really great experience to be there. I remember walking in thinking like, oh, these guys have their shit together, going for the first time and going up and be like, where are all the adults? It's just a sea of, well, at the
Of
time,
creativity.
would have been 20-year-olds in creativity.
Of creativity with
And-
people that are helping provide that,
Yeah.
directing
the
the
engine.
creativity.
Yeah.
An engine, right?
Yeah.
And it was energy, right? Like just,
Yeah.
but yeah, we get, like Monica said, we're on the education side. So lots of schools, they were trying to make a new name for themselves away from just towers and big buildings,
Yeah.
which they still do, and they do it really well. But so that was really exciting to be part of that connection with art, like artists. All the projects were paired with artists.
Yeah, loved who we worked for. We learned a lot there. It was tough. It was, but a great
Yeah.
tough. And you talk about that, what projects do you remember that you learned, like that you didn't do well or in school that
Yeah.
really stick with you? I know that's not how you asked it, but
It's okay.
I mean, it happened the same thing. Like every day at S1 was the same thing. Like we were just like we're always at the bottom, right? Wherever we're at. I remember I got onto a great team and I got asked to do a site model. And here I am, this is SOM, right? So everyone's like sharp, tight, working hard. I build a site model, and for some reason, I decided to make it out of paper mache. And so here's me crafting, like everybody else is using state-of-the-art technology. And I remember it went to one of the partners, and I think they looked at it the same way they would have looked at your drawing, going, just kind of like, they looked at it, no one got yelled at. It just kind of disappeared, and no one ever talked about it again. But
I'm sure they did later that night.
But we got a great team.
The Canadians.
Yeah.
The Canadians. And
Give it to their kids for like a hot wheels model.
But I think we grew there and we got promoted there. And
How long were you there?
a
Couple of years.
which is, almost like dog years. It felt like 4.5 in hours.
Was it like 2 years?
Yeah.
A little over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And talk about what it would have been like, not only working at SOM, but also then being immersed in the culture of New York.
Mm-hmm.
When time did allow itself to go and immerse yourself in what the city was. What were some of the things that you really enjoyed about being there that you think helped add to the creative process or overall to your character? Whether it was being able to walk around. I know that there's plays, but like when you're living there, you're not doing that.
No, galleries were huge.
Galleries,
galleries, food, quality, materials. Like you get to see investment in craft, and design at its best. Like it was incredible to, the times that we had off, we'd love to go to great restaurants, go out to, we had a MoMA membership and we had a train pass. And at the end of the day, that's a good life, right? You can just kind of like, it was fun. And then we had tickets to the Mets. We'd see the games.
Speaking of baseball,
right?
Yeah.
They're doing great right now.
So let's just say
Mid-April, right?
Mid-April, okay? They're doing okay right now.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Second highest payroll in baseball. Lost 12 in a row.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're taking bids now. Put in your bids now. So I don't know. New York was amazing. Did we think maybe that's actually a really important note? Is like you're asking a good question, and in hindsight, it's different to ask. But I think we're always trying to think bigger. New York helps you think bigger.
Yes.
Everything's possible, right? And I think it's funny that you're from a small place, and I used to think I was a big thinker, but so Steve's kind of the big thinker, and I'll just chase it. I'm like, we can do that. I'm like, all right, let's go for it. But I think New York, SOM, idea places, artists, there's no ceiling, right? So it's the art of the possible. So we were around the art of the possible. Like I'm naive enough to believe that anything's possible.
Speaking of believing that anything is possible, imagine stepping out your back door, looking out at a sprawling vista of trees and walking directly into a private, crystal clear beach oasis. If you think a luxury retreat like that is out of reach, Aquanta Pools is here to prove that it is entirely possible. Owned and operated by Yuri, a seasoned veteran of the pool industry right here in Ontario, Aquanta Pools specializes in certified biodesign installations. This revolutionary technology completely reimagines what a pool can look like, shaping it into a natural beach environment that blends seamlessly with your landscape. The best part? It actually costs less than a traditional concrete pool. Because it uses a far less invasive excavation process, it preserves the integrity of your property. Unlike rigid concrete pools that are prone to structural failure, biodesign pools are engineered to move with nature. The advanced waterproofing membranes and layering systems allow for an incredible expansion and contraction of up to 300% per foot. That means you never have to worry about structural cracking, shifting, earth, or mold, even in our harsh Canadian climates. Yuri and his team can customize the build to your exact preferences, adapting perfectly to whatever filtration system you prefer to run. whether it's standard chlorine, bromine, advanced eco-friendly setups, or saltwater, you pick. If you are ready to bring a true oasis to your backyard, head over to the liner notes to connect with Aquanta Pools. You can also email me directly at Jonathan, Jonathan, at issuedforconstruction.ca, and I will gladly introduce you to Yuri to get your project started. And now, let's get back to Stephen and Monica.
And he gets me excited. He's like, he buys a lottery ticket. And he's like, we're winners. I'm like ready to pack up, right? So I think we've been fortunate to be around champions, believers, fuelers, kind of like that, kind of like, and it's so at the end of, it's kind of like, what's a life worthwhile? It's like, there's this pursuit of like possible. And that was New York, and continues to be kind of a driver of like, everything's a seed for something exciting. So New York was awesome.
What were some of the most exciting projects that were getting built while you were there that you could see in progress? Do you remember?
A lot of them weren't in New York.
Okay.
But the Elizabeth School, which we worked on in New Jersey, which was changing the school system was kind of broken at the time. And so these were about transforming schools. And the funny thing is that we had someone over for dinner that invited a guest, and that guest works at that school in New Jersey. They just, what are the chances? And this is something that we got to touch, comes to dinner and talking about their lives being shifted by that. So I love this connection of the possible, right? How exciting is that when that happens?
Well, one project, I guess I'm thinking now, if they're listening, anyone at the DIA, we would like an invite. But the Roden Crater in New Mexico, is it? Anyway, James Terrell's Roden Crater. So SOM was doing all the behind the scenes detail work for that. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it just opened.
Like a celestial.
It's been like 20 years they've been building it. Absolutely amazing.
Okay. So if you're listening, there are comment sections. Okay. Especially on Spotify. You can comment on Spotify about this. And it would be great to engage in that conversation.
Exactly.
Or hell, you can email me and I'll connect you with Monica and Stephen. Because
we got to go.
We want to go. Well, first is James Terrell, but SOM's work in supporting that to see how architecture and art can kind of come together.
Yeah.
Really
the Dia Beacon was just finishing up like some of the detail work on the site plan there. Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic gallery, upstate New York. Yeah. That was amazing.
What about the airport? You ever get to the airport?
Do we get to the airport to get out?
No.
Kunming. No, but we didn't end up, they ended up building it themselves. It's built.
Okay.
So we'll show you the concept, and it's a built environment. So you can go visit it sometime. So that's exciting.
So moving one, how did you decide that would come to an end? Like what was the, and where did you go from there?
Okay, that's going to bring us to here. So that's
perfect.
Great. So we're coming back. We're coming back. So we're in New York. We're working a lot of overtime. So we're grinding.
You're burning out.
We're burning out. Here we are.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah. And we've continued that since.
Yeah. We haven't, we thought we could escape the burnout. Turns out it's in us.
Well, it's different when you're burning out for yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it just came time that we were going to look for a change. So we said, let's come to St. John. We'll put all our stuff in a U-Haul, and then we'll go to Europe, or because Steve worked in Germany. We'll think about somewhere we can go next. So it's just like, what's next? And I don't think I'd lived anywhere since high school more than like 2 or 3 years, maybe Toronto a little bit longer, but so ready to go.
I think there's something you said though in that work that we're doing that actually led to that. Like, at SOM, it's fantastic work, fantastic people, but none of the stuff in the end was like, we never got to visit it, right?
Yeah,
it's
like
for
you said,
somebody else, somewhere else. So there was this missing connection with architecture and experience. Like, we wanted to be, at the end of the day, we realized, we could work on a New York project, but maybe not. It could be in India, Mexico, anywhere. But the idea was that, coming back to Canada to be able to design and build stuff in your community and experience it and build, like, add to that was kind of a desire. And
I don't think we had planned that yet, because we were going to go to Europe, and then we discovered that because we came here with a U-Haul and decided, let's write our exams. We had 8 exams to do the NCARBs. And so we said, let's work for a local firm here. So we worked for Murdoch and Boyd Architects, and we each got to design a hockey arena. So it felt very Canadian coming back. And so we worked on our hockey rinks for them. And then we were like, we got our license and we were like, it's time to go. But to Stephen's point, like in New York, if you don't do a building, somebody great will.
Right.
Like, but here there were 11 architects under the age of 40 in the whole province. Like there were 11 and we were 2 of them. So tonight you invited people to dinner. That's like actually was the whole architectural population for this province.
Under 40.
Under 40.
At the time.
But that's, if you think about that as like, how do we get this going? So we decided to stay. So we decided to start a practice. And I think maybe I didn't think I'd ever come back here. And Zita Cobb, who did Fogo Island, who talked about like, it's important to invest in home, just really became so true and resonates. So everything here you touch has an impact. And so we're at the Acre today, and we have a goal to create 100 transformational projects by the year 2030. That's kind of our driver.
Okay.
They don't have to be epic, but they have to create change. And so it allows us to explore left and right in anything, but we're trying to create meaningful change in where we live and people's lives. And
why Acre?
Acre was this idea, again, probably response to New York. The idea that anywhere you are can be local. So you can be, if your project's here, we want to think about everything that goes into it within that acre. So we want to think about bringing the talent, corralling the right people to the talent to bring to that space to yours. It's not about applying Toronto to St. John or St. John to New York. It's about thinking about responding to place, to the talent, to the people that know how to work there.
Yep.
So the acre kind of became anywhere where the project existed, we would discover its potential and bring it to life.
How many names, I've never asked this, did you run through to get to that?
Well, S&M got cut really early.
Obvious reasons, yeah. We did have a little
We
bit
did
for that one.
win, so that was funny you should ask.
Good quality control check there.
Yeah, glad
We'll
we
bring
asked.
some things to market. Let's see how it goes. Focus group.
We probably could have reined in a little bit more money.
Big hit on the internet, though. Right?
No,
They're doing a search.
Yeah. The domain name was taken.
Yeah.
.ca.com, all taken.
Yeah.
So that was probably
.org.
.org.
Yeah, it's charity work we're doing, really.
Comment on Spotify.
No one can hear me laughing. Oh God, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but other than that, no. Acre landed early as driven out of storied architecture.
Yeah,
it was really about like more of a framework or an ethos of working.
But and I find this part interesting because when you make the decision that you want to start your own practice, obviously you need to have projects, hopefully, to start off. In addition to that,
right? Where were you? Where were you when we started?
I mean,
you need projects.
Well, you need projects. But I mean, if you don't have projects, you have the opportunity to go think about what you want to do and what you want to create for yourself. Maybe a business plan, probably not. But you also have this opportunity to be able to really give yourself some form of clarity as to how you want to run your practice. Maybe.
I think that would be probably, we're both quick starts. So we probably jumped in before we started to look for that clarity. I would say we're in that was 2010 we incorporated. So the Acre, and I will tell you about our first project. We didn't have a commission yet.
Were you scared or not?
No.
Confident that you knew that it would work?
No, neither. I mean, not scared, but not like when we got our first house.
I'm still scared.
Yeah.
I was like, as you're answering this, I'm looking at Stephen. Stephen's like pensive.
Yeah. I wake up every morning in fear.
But yeah. Okay. We do wake up in fear, but it's not scared to start.
No.
Like that.
I think if you're to run a practice, to start a practice, you have to be okay with risk.
Yep.
I think like we probably had a little bit of blinders on about it not working, but we were okay with risk in general.
Yep.
So
I also naive. I think you're naive enough to, it helps to not know all the things you should know And I'm here, how many years later now?
16.
16. And I feel like these are questions that probably some people ask before they start, that we're like, all right, now let's dig deep, and our team's probably like, finally. But
I think
we had a patio
Yeah.
as our first project. So we used to go to this wine bar called Happiness.
Amazing.
And that's where we spent most of our time. That's where we got our first clients. We kind of, I think we drank we drank our way to our first commissions. But we did spend a lot of time meeting great people.
You recouped your money.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Little by little.
No, but we really did meet some fabulous people at the wine bar. And so we liked, it's in the basement of an old historic building, but we wanted to be outside on the few sunny days that we're in St. John. So we wanted to pitch a patio, but this was on the sidewalk. And so you only had 4 feet.
I was going to say the regulations.
So, well, they had never done patio. So you weren't allowed to do. We did the first contemporary intervention on a historic property in St. John. So we had to take it to council to do a patio. Okay. We had to do, like, patios today were kind of introduced in St. John because we had this first patio. So this was our hapito, the little patio that could, but it got published in International Architecture and Design, and all our friends were laughing. They were like, "You've got a patio?"
Did you push it out to try to get the awards?
I don't remember how that happened.
Or try to get no?
I think it had traction, and we had really great clients at the time that were also interested in design. So,
right.
And it just, I don't know, it got legs. It got
But
legs.
for some reason, when we, like the night that opened, the city closed the street down and had a party.
Oh, come on.
And so again, our friends in New York were like, what's going on up there?
Oh, right. It's on a billboard thing. It got in the city magazines, but 20 and change. That was actually, kudos to, that's a.
Elsa.
Yeah, Elsa, and what a great group of
and Heather.
And Heather Dubledam.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing. So we got a break there. I think that actually they published Hapito.
Maybe that's where.
And, even Ian Chodikoff, like at the time, like we got recognized here. And this out of, like, we always say great things don't have to just happen in big cities. It's one of the things that we want to say, like, ideas are capable of happening anywhere. And so that was a real kind of step. I would thank them for a step into the field, right?
If I didn't mention people that are part of that, I apologize. I'm referring to 20 and change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you're part of that program and I didn't mention you, apologies.
Me too. But I think a wonderful way. We got our first intern hire from there because they were using that book to go, where should I work? Right. So all those things, you don't know where breaks happen. So we're thankful for those. Patio. So we have a patio. Don't have any other projects, but we got our first house from
the patio
from this client.
Well, if you can do patio,
it's a logical next step, right?
Yeah.
You need a house to connect to the patio, right?
That's how it happens.
But didn't we never thought we'd get another house. Like, really, in my mind, I was like, we got a house. That's the end. Like, we did it. I don't know.
It's pretty crazy to think that you got a house before you got a reno or like a kitchen or anything else like that.
No, we didn't do any stuff like that for a couple of years, actually. No. It was a little odd.
New home.
Yeah.
No.
From a patio.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to turn on the explicit for this one.
Yeah.
It is fucking crazy.
It is. And it's crazy that we thought we could run a business with a 100 square foot patio, so, and that we were also doing one-to-one mock-ups in our house and drawing, come on.
So, at this point, you also didn't have studio space. You were working from home.
In the basement.
Classic basement startup.
Still didn't have commissions. Won a public art competition. So we got a public art piece. So we were creating our own work.
Right.
Like, we're trying to find a way to create value.
Okay.
And then our work started to become just word of mouth. So that's how we grew.
And a little bit like you, we like making connections too. And so we still had people in New York that we were pretty close with. So we actually started a small office in Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
With our friend Robin Copps. And we got a hotel commission we won in, what area is that called now? Williamsburg.
Yeah.
How many rooms of the hotel?
It didn't get built.
That's okay.
But
it would have been 440. I think it was a boutique hotel in this amazing Iceland engineer design iron building.
It's
and
incredible.
beautiful.
We'll show you the
And-
film.
Yeah.
The pitch that we did. We were the underdogs, but we gave it a pitch.
How many people were in the pitch?
Three teams.
Okay.
And we had I don't know how well we got on because of anyway, a partner on the team. We got an interview,
Yeah.
long shot, and we put a film, we put a design together. We told the story, and we ended up winning that commission. And again, the world felt really open, and we connected with Waris Aluwalia. I don't know if you know him, the
I don't.
actor. You probably know him from Wes Anderson films. He's in
Okay.
a lot of those anyway. And so we got to meet these really great connections to, at the time, Lawrence Weiner was even talking to us about the gallery. So we were
Yeah.
starting to, everything was possible.
Well, look how
New
far
York
you-
wasn't a limit.
Look how far you came from paper mache.
That's
Film production.
100%.
Paper mache, patio, film production.
Wow.
That's how you do it.
No cap.
No.
Just put that down as the formula to get, or what's that story with those two guys, those New Zealand guys, who you start at the bottom,
Flight of the Conchords.
work really hard, and then end up back at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at.
Okay. So, I mean, you say, it's funny because you say that the hotel didn't get built, but who cares? I mean,
Mhm.
you, as a young practice, are establishing yourself. You get a commission to do something like this.
Crazy.
You know, you're still making money
Oh, yeah.
doing it, and you get to flex those muscles.
Flow state all the time,
Yeah.
that feeling. It was a beautiful environment. We were doing some of our best work. That's, I think, enough to inspire that any work has that possibility of doing it. And we didn't have to be from New York or have this. And like Waris was connecting us to
Spike
Lee.
Lee.
Like we were getting connected to
Right.
people that could make the project be whatever it needed to be. So we realized
Just
that
energy.
it's
right?
just
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just so.
Yeah.
I know this is probably not very clear podcasting, but I think it really helped serve. I think what is in the Acre today, the storied architecture, the idea that we can create our own legendary experiences, like create your own myth, right? And every project has that possibility, so it's really fun.
Well, one of the things that I have so enjoyed about doing this podcast is that in much of what happens in this industry on design is that it's either critiqued or you're submitting for an award, and there isn't a lot of opportunity to be able to leave your own legacy in your own words
Right.
and to have the evolution
That's a good point.
of your legacy come from you. That's why I like this,
Yeah. It's nice.
because you get to tell your own story. There's no
Right.
one telling it for you.
Mhm.
You're not getting a grade for this.
Right.
It's not, you don't have to worry about a publication.
Right.
None of that.
Right. Nice.
So you talk about now the evolution of this. So you go and you get this opportunity on the hotel, and then how does it work now as your company starts to evolve here, and then eventually expand into Halifax?
Mhm.
How do you do that?
How did we do that? I think art really was part of it, right? We did a lot of
Yeah.
public art projects. We did a lot of not trying to convince people. We tried to show value. So one of our projects here, we shut down an alley and rented sod and sodded the whole alley and put lights on it because we wanted it to be a pedestrian street. So this was during a night of art. And so we did that project, and it changed city bylaws to be able to do public projects. And it was also a way to see a place that was really derelict, where we were working on a restaurant, to make it feel like it was activated. Today, has like at least 10 new restaurants around it and 10 new businesses. So it was this idea that we can, if it's missing, we can create it.
Mhm.
And also that's where commissions were coming from. It's how do you create value rather than just saying, hey, I want this, or this is a project I'd like. It's trying to find solutions for people that were there and listening to them and discovering what is the problem we're trying to solve, and figuring that out in a creative way. So we don't like to let go of the aspirational, but we like to actually solve the functional. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
That didn't answer your question at all. He's like, yes. So where do you go from there to
Who
there?
cares?
yeah. Although we're starting to form more plans now. Back then, especially, we were just total organic
Growth.
bouncing around. Like we'd all of a sudden be like, gee, we're printing a lot. We need a printer, like let's get a printer and so forth.
What led you to your first hire, and whether I say this openly,
Yeah.
you don't always have to name people.
Oh yeah, no, Jessie Kroll.
Okay.
Yeah, she was
Right.
amazing, and it was 20 and change.
Waterloo summer or co-op student. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great. That's
And
right.
what role did she fulfill?
She was a co-op student, but I think it was also, I think it was Randy Cohen who said, we always ask people for advice. Like, what would you do before we start our business? What's one piece of advice? And he said, pick up the phone, Acre Architects. And I won't underestimate that, because we were in our basement and you have to answer your home line where your friends were calling you and you were just saying hi.
And they're mocking you.
And now you're
Yeah.
saying Acre
Yeah,
Architects,
who's
right?
this?
And they're saying, who's this? Or you have to have the sample guys come bring Vic West samples to your basement. They're like, I'm outside, but I don't see your office. It's like, here it is, right? So that made it real. Having your first employee as a student or whatever it was is saying it changes you from, this is something we're going to grow. This is something that we have to take care of other people.
Well, I was going to say, you now own the responsibility of someone else's food,
100%.
Yeah.
shelter.
Right. Yeah. Big responsibility, like a weird feeling.
Yeah.
I think, and then we had a breakthrough too. We had partnered with John LaRue, an architect in Fredericton and a writer, and we got Picaroons, which is a microbrewery in Fredericton. We got to do their headquarters, and it was a big project for us to take on. We were still in our basement. I think that's the year we probably transitioned. Like, we realized we needed an office. We
Right.
probably had 1 or 2 staff by that time, and that was our first foray out of the weird cycle of houses, which come when they want to and go. Right.
Yeah.
Then we had consultants and engineers, and that was our first grow up moment, I think.
Yep. And then I think we grew there. Then we got our first office and we started doing lecture series because there were no architects. So we had something called Morning Mess, and we let everyone come to our office, and we had like, what inspired you this morning?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Within the community?
within the community, we opened our doors to the office, and everyone was like, we sometimes had 60 people come in, and we'd have like just orange slices, coffees, and donuts. It was a really lame breakfast, but we did that. And
How much are you willing to give away? You're a new business.
Yeah.
You've taken on an employee. You got office space.
let me
Oranges
tell you,
were cheaper back
licensing.
then.
No, let me
Yeah.
tell you, I had a cup that said, "Will design for money." And Steve was like, "Will you please drink out of this?" Like, I had just, money was not on our mind. We had no idea. We just scrapped it out. I mean, we didn't really care. We could figure it out. So we did that. But I would say that we were community first. So when you say, like, did you have it all figured? Like, what did you do in advance? I think the first 5 years, looking back, were all about just foundation in our community. And that's how we did it. Like, we had people coming into our office, and then we got projects, and through word of mouth, we did more. We got that microbrewery, and then we said, well, that was in Fredericton, but we wanted one in St. John.
Right.
So
It's
we
home.
convinced him to do one here. And then we helped find the people that needed to work there. Like, we took on the project as to help make it kind of come together. So anyway, so that was kind of the early years. Then we decided to kind of professionalize the organization. We're like, all right, this is enough. Like, we had a big old studio, really big, fit all these people for the Morning Mess, but it didn't really have great heat. People loved it. It felt like it was a studio that was alive.
It was raw.
It was
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Tukes in the winter.
But it was really hard for people to we started doing $1 million homes, and they're kind of looking around going, don't look around here either, but you start to not be able to match what you're kind of creating. And it also needed for us to step up our game. We're surrounded, we both got accepted to the Wallace McCain Institute. And that's like for high growth companies that they saw potential in Atlantic Canada. So we each got to start to get into a business group separately. And I think that was also a really important shift. Like, we have a great mentor, like Mike Cormier is on our board right now of advisors. And it just started to structure, like, to think of this as a business, and that business wasn't a dirty word. It's kind of getting out of that, and then starting to realize that we could, the better that this business did, the more our employees did, the better equipment we could have, the kind of impact we could have. So we wanted to start to scale.
Right.
So we got excited about the business aspect, and we love that as well, because that's just fuel for what transformational change.
Of course.
Right? So
Yeah. And aside from snm.org being taken already,
yeah, we should have gone there.
part of the reason we liked Acre as a name too is it wasn't about Monica and Stephen. Like we knew obviously that's the energy that it started, but we wanted this to be something that the employees could grasp on, and it's not just about us going forward.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the success we had too in thinking about getting to Halifax and slowly growing up like that. And,
Right.
we were able to find Matt Jones in Halifax as an architect, helped us, really run that first year alone in Halifax was pretty big. And we always knew we were going to need to expand out of St. John. Like we're right on the tip of southern New Brunswick, right? Isolated geographically. So we knew we had to like get into Halifax and Nova Scotia more, and rural Nova Scotia too, like not just the city, because we do think good stuff happens outside, like Monica said, of the big city.
Yeah. So I think growing, I think you mentioned it earlier, how important the people are.
Yes.
So one of our pillars is legendary experience, but that's also for like the buildings we don't own, but how we do the work and the time that it takes to do the work. Like this is our life, right? So we want our employees, our people, the builders that we work with, the relationships that we have. That's what we're creating, right? We're creating like a world around that. So that became
community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And that became so important. We just said, like right now, our people, like we have a great team. We have an amazing team. We're 18 now. We have
Yeah, go ahead.
we have 18, and we started to say we don't want to we want to be able to pivot and be nimble. So we kind of think of it like ocean racers. So we like our businesses to feel small enough that we can kind of move quickly and change to the environment or go after really good opportunities. Like I don't want to be a big battleship, but we also like that it's not Stephen and Monica, that we've got like we're alongside on a fast moving boat with really talented people that you could trust to hand the line to pull with you and going in one direction. So I think we're figuring out how to build really tight ocean racers, having great people on our teams. Got 3 great associates right now. I think Kale Harper, Matt Jones, and Anna Jessam. I think they're talent. Like this isn't Stephen and Monica. This is a team that's starting to create our forward momentum, which is so exciting.
So it's funny because you said before that you miss.
The Navy?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I like this is.
And yet here you are
with
steering a ship.
Yeah, that's right. These are our ocean races. Can't get off the boat.
Monica's always been a corraller and a leader. I mean, I remember even at U of T, probably one of the first times I would have saw you even in the studio, standing on a desk, kind of yelling and corralling people, probably to go to the bar or something. But
probably.
She's always been that. So I imagine
Yeah.
it would have been the same throughout the Navy, probably good learnings. And
So how many years into the St. John office did it take for you to then say you want to open in Halifax?
So that was COVID. We actually said, this sounds like a good time to grow.
10 years.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think we had the New York office before that. And, but we weren't going to grow there. That wasn't our market of the community acre field to be on the ground yet. But Matt started we wanted Matt in St. John. And he said, I'd love to come, but I just got a place in Halifax. I want to be there. So Steve called him back and said, well, we're not going to take no for an answer. So what if we built a firm around you? And we had been shortlisted for the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia. So, great to be with KPMB and Omar and it was nice to be, in the Olympics of Architecture in Atlantic Canada, but also to be leading the design with Dialogue and Shannon Webb Campbell and Brackish. It was incredible to be part of that team. And so Halifax started to become a place where this is our community as well. So Atlantic Canada, our bedroom's just bigger now. And we like to think about Atlantic Canada as our home.
Okay. And how many people now at that office? I can't.
9?
8 or 9 there.
8.
8 there.
8 there. Yeah.
Okay. And the New York office.
There was 3 of us and 1 student for a while there.
And then that came to an end.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
So we were in the back Robin helped open it up because he also opened up a espresso bar with this other partner. So we were literally in the back of a coffee shop in Bed-Stuy, which is, where Jay-Z's from. But it was growing so fast. Like they were right outside this, I can't remember the street, but of a subway stop and, catching people on the way to work in the morning. Anyway, eventually the pressure for us, the architecture firm, to get out of the back because they wanted to store our coffee and croissants and stuff. So that went out.
Your desk. I'm just having this vision of like stacks of coffee and then your monitors on top of the stacks of coffee.
Yeah, no windows.
It's not far from that.
Yeah, that was a fun time. But yeah, that eventually, like when the hotel project, it was fantastic. Got to the end of construction drawings, but the owner ended up selling the whole plot of land to another developer. So that was that, and so we didn't kind of continue that after a while.
So if you could give advice to someone that's running a young practice now and they're growing and they were looking at potentially opening a second office, what advice would you give them based on what you've lived through and experienced?
Great question. We've tested a few other offices. So I think this is, I think we can give advice for ones that are still going and ones that maybe don't. I think, again, the testing ground. Give yourself a good, safe place to do testing ground. So not everything means that you have to have everything fully operational from day one. I think what's an environment that gives yourself an environment to flex that test, like of a new space, make connections, make it real. But the first thing we also did is make the investment big enough that you actually have something to lose too at the same time, because otherwise you're always going to have one foot out the door and you can't really invest. So you have to kind of put something on the line if you really want it to be there. And for us, that actually meant, let's actually invest in a space, design it, put a 10-year lease on it. Once we said yes, we said, let's do that. But more importantly is, let's actually be true to the connections we say we're making on the ground. So I think it's one thing for us is to say, oh yeah, like we've got an office there and we care, like we're going every other week, right? And that's a big investment when you have 2 kids and just trying to go back and forth. So I think there's no shortcuts, right, to that. I think to that work and to creating that investment. So testing ground in a safe environment, meaning that you don't have to go all in on day one. Work out to see if it's a fit. And just because it's not a fit with the people that you're working with doesn't mean a reflection of either person. They have, you just got to find what's a fit for your team, right? And test that out. Yeah.
I think I'd give 2 things. One would be, start as small as you can and as like, in a way you're doing another startup. So as thrifty as you can. We found a good spot with Brackish Landscape Architects. We shared a space above Taz Records for the first probably 2 years, and that's to cut down on rent. It also made it a little more fun for Matt. So it didn't feel like a one-person office in a tiny room. And so that was a nice way to like not immediately have a bunch of overhead, which could drag down the whole practice and be quite dangerous. And I think the second, and I've heard this from other people too, trying to start second or third offices, is you really have to find that person who's representing you there to have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit or like connections. So, we hatched a plan and Matt and I would go and meet different people and so forth. But I think if you don't have someone who's willing to get out there and meet local engineers and builders and like actually connect, you're just sitting in space. So I think that's a key. But
we didn't start with Nova Scotia work either. So we just actually just thought of it as one practice and still do. Yeah.
But you're also talking about relinquishing control over something. Yeah. Which is probably one of the hardest things to do.
It's amazing. It was the best. As someone who's working through micromanagement issues, it's so beautiful to have an office and then also to just see revealed trust, and also how naive you are to think, why wouldn't you trust these? Like if you hire talented people, it's giving them space.
And it's forcing us to build process too, which we're not natural at all.
Yeah.
There was I can't think of who, because this is to your point. I'm going to try to look at my phone for a second to see who was that just said this. Give me a second. So I'm almost positive it was Dominic Perot, who just had an interview, and he was saying speed is actually a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when you're working at speed, it allows you to correct while you are still have time before you have to get to the conclusion.
Yeah.
You can fix it along the way. Whereas if you work too slow, you get to the end and you haven't actually resolved the problem.
Right.
Yeah. I like that.
And it was when I was thinking about that, I was like, oh, that's really an interesting perspective. Because most of the time people want to try to spend all their time solving all the problems to get to the point where they're ready to bring something to, call it to market.
Yeah.
Whereas you just go at it.
And you're not going to get it right. So you got to keep trying. It's not the first try.
Well, I mean, look at like conceptual design.
Right.
I mean, I'm not an architect, on the building side,
right.
you're looking at solutions to things that allow you to have this opportunity to go figure it out.
Mm.
And you can have this creative process in the middle of it all.
Totally. And it is a creative process, right? Like
Yeah.
I like that quote also, because we talked a little bit before we started about speed.
Yeah.
But momentum and speed is so important of the creative process. If you're like, whether it's for solving it, but also just, it's not a straight path.
Yeah.
Like the A to B, I draw this diagram for our team all the time because everybody wants to go right to the end.
Right.
But it's that kind of route. But speed gives you, the minute you break that momentum, you're starting again later on.
Well,
you just got to keep driving.
Like, you got to put a bookmark in,
and
then come back to it. And you've potentially forgotten about what you were doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, one of the hardest things to do is start. And I think it was at U of T, John Schneer had told us, if you don't know where to start anywhere. But I think the key to that is momentum, right? Like you're just starting the train moving.
Go.
And hopefully you can, it's a skill to keep that moving, but like just start. You can get, especially now, there's so much information. You can get all this information overload and be frozen. Yeah.
And forget about actually, progressing, because you're just trying to retain all this information.
Right.
So much.
How to filter.
Right. You got to, we have this right now that we're looking at. How do we design to drive decisions, not just design for designing? Like we actually, we're being tasked to create something, right? So how do we do that? How do we keep it actionable? How do we get on top of what we were supposed to do?
Well, and hold people accountable to making decisions so that it can still move. Yeah. Because one of the hard parts of what you do is moving the client forward through the process. Yeah. When for them, it could be something totally new.
100%.
So it's an interesting thing. What do you see for your practice from today forward? What are some of the objectives? How far into your 100 projects
are you? So we've written about maybe 60 or something.
Okay.
But again, we're not as rigorous about, like, it's hard when you get into the definition of what qualifies and what doesn't. I think we have 68, because I think we did the other one the other day, but it's more of a guide, which is a really nice guide. So you don't just take a project and go, this is just a commission. Right. Nothing is ever just a commission. Like everything has the potential to create something meaningful and change. So where are we today and where are we going? So charting our course is kind of, we had our racing boats here that we're thinking about where are we going. I think right now we've been incremental. We've been a life of unintended consequences.
I've never heard that before.
That's kind of where we are. I think for the longest time, people were like, where are you going? We said, David Bowie said it best. It's like, we don't know, but we know it won't be boring. But now we're trying to be more strategic, and we realize that the effort that we're doing right now incremental growth is harder sometimes than 10xing our growth. So we want to start to think bigger. I think one of the things we're partnering with really great firms right now. We're with MJMA. We have, I don't know how much construction we have over 22 million.
No,
220 million, in construction value just with them alone, just with those projects with them. So now, so it's just thinking about, and this is in Atlantic Canada. So just thinking that we're generating a lot of construction value.
Think about all of the people that you're employing.
Yeah, it's a big web. Yeah.
$220 million.
And that's for 4 projects.
I get it. So, you're employing for anyone listening to this, you got to understand that like conceptual ideas inside of a brain turn into plans on paper, turn into jobs. And when you think about 4 projects, $220 million, you're employing people on a mass scale. And it's not just locally. Like this is worldwide.
Yeah.
You're talking about people in manufacturing plants on other sides of the world, logistics. You're talking about people that work in government. You're talking about people that are on the ground that are building it physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like and I say this because as an 18-person firm, partnering with people in other parts of the country, you're creating like an entire economy, which can get lost sometimes when you're just doing the work. Again, why I like doing this.
I love that. And I also love that there's impacts that we're seeing locally, like at the acre level, like the acre that we're in, is that there's trades that you can also bring more work to and bring to life. So we have, you met with river builders and the masons that we work with, right? We try to, that trade, a lot of those guys are over 60, right? So you want to be able to keep that trade alive. So all of a sudden you have.
And learn from them.
And learn from
60
them.
years worth of knowledge.
So much knowledge. So you get to kind of see how the impacts also keep skills and bring communities to life. So that, we've got the economy, but we love seeing that transformation in one of the poorest provinces in Canada, right? So we are also in a struggling economy here. So it's not the same environment as doing a project in Toronto, right?
Because you asked me, candor, you asked me if I had walked around.
Yeah.
So I walked around yesterday.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I noticed is that there's a lot of empty retail.
Yeah.
There's a lot of for lease, for sale.
You're right.
I messaged a friend of mine. He's at CBRE.
Oh yeah.
And he said like it's a really hard economy to be in for us as a leasing company.
Yeah.
Because there's a lack of economic growth, stimulus.
We came here, there wasn't even a crane in the sky when we came in here.
So, and I commented on that yesterday. I said, what's shocking is actually how many cranes I see around right now.
Yeah. Now it's changing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would see as many cranes here as what I see.
Yeah. So it's a different environment. So it's a different, you have to create the context here that might, like in New York, everything was there, right?
Yeah.
In Toronto, it was nice.
Yeah.
Here, you have to kind of work with the city. You have to work with the community. And that's a great thing. Like we're all learning from each other. So it's just a different model. It's the Wild East over here.
But for anyone listening, again, I got to say this. If you're unfamiliar with this province, it is worth the flight.
Yeah.
It's really, really special. You have amazing forests. You have small, beautiful towns. There is a really friendly group of people here. And you can see that they're really working hard to grow the economy, and it doesn't work without tourism.
Yeah.
So fly here, come see this place. Initially, I was going to have this interview. A lot of the interviews I do are going to be remote. And when the opportunity presented itself to be able to come here, I really want to come. I've been to Nova Scotia. I've been to Halifax. I've been to Newfoundland.
Yeah.
I had never been to New Brunswick.
Really?
Nice. Yeah. We don't want to be the drive-through province on your way to PI. Come on in.
So fly in. You can fly into Fredericton. You can fly into Moncton. You can fly into St. John. Fly. Come here.
Love it.
We actually did a pretty interesting, super fun project actually last year with Maestro Fresh West, who lives here now. And we did a project with Tourism and B for
at the DX.
At the DX at Toronto. Yeah. So we built this like long meandering stage. He performed on it. Radio. Yeah. D. Hernandez. Anyways, super fun party.
Well, so my friend Dennis owns a studio called iStudio.
Okay.
His wife is an architect. Her name's Wenda. She owns a studio called Studio Lau. And Maestro buys his glasses from Dennis.
Really?
You talk about how circuitous things are.
That's amazing.
Wild.
He has he has nice glasses. Yeah.
Oh, so next time
Yeah.
you come to Toronto.
Yeah.
No, actually,
sort of like a thick
Dennis,
like that. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to bump you. No, Dennis, forget you. Buy from your local optical. Support the
Vogue
local
Optical. Go to
economy.
Vogue Optical.
Yeah.
Funny.
So I have to say to you, I greatly appreciate you taking time from your day to do this.
Oh, thank you.
It's been such a pleasure getting to know the two of you and talking about the evolution of the practice. I mean, it's incredible to think from a basement studio answering his acre to employing 18 people in total to having all of these opportunities to have the growth of the economy now rooted in what is your studio. And to do it all as a husband and wife is a really, really rare thing to do. There's only a handful of people I've interviewed that have done it as husband and wife. So,
well, thanks for the opportunity for reflection. You don't always get that. And it's nice to be able to see, to recharge and realize that every year can make a difference in your practice and it can keep shaping. So thanks for giving it a reflection back.
yeah, I mean, look, you don't know where things are going to go over the course of 2 hours. So,
Right.
here we are.
Back to baseball.
Back to baseball. Yeah, thank you again for having me here, for taking the time away from it. Look forward to getting together for dinner tonight. And I know perhaps we'll talk about some other opportunities that might present itself to be able to bring people here and see what exists.
Got an amazing we've got amazing coastal landscape. We're ready for you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.